A library at Rock Valley College is named in her honor, and now Rockford native Estelle Black has her own exhibit at the Ethnic Heritage Museum as part of its African American Gallery. The museum hosts a reception for Estelle on Saturday in connection with this new exhibit, which opened last week, which highlights her life and career. Estelle was the manager of the library's Montague branch for Rockford Public Library, where she created programs and services for everyone at the branch, regardless of their ethnicity. She is also instrumental in starting various organizations, including as the first president of the Rockford Women's Network when it was established in 1981. The exhibit will be open until Labor Day weekend.
She was a role model, also a mentor. I know some people have gotten their positions just through her word of mouth or her support. So I think a lot of people, and then also it's somebody for young ladies and men to look up to.